to the legends of the creative and entertainment industries. We talk to those on the rise. Lance Dean Anthony Nielsen asks about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. This is Outcast Creative, and this is Industry Interviews.
Hello, welcome to Industry Interview 145, although actually technically this is Industry Interview 146 because I booked an extra one last week. So they're slightly out of order at the moment. I hope you all had a fantastic Valentine's weekend. I was at Koko for Houses of Feeling. Oh my God, what a mega event. But the floor did become so sticky that when I was dancing, my shoes were coming off. They were literally sticking to the floor. Koko, sort it out. I'm sure you can afford a mop. So today's guest is one of the most prolific house music DJs on the scene today. I've seen her play a couple of times already, and I predict that the career of this particular DJ is going to steadily rise, and I certainly hope that that's the case. We have Carly Denham in the house, bringing some glamour to the Outcast Creative channel. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I know you haven't done many interviews and you're a little bit nervous, but you'll be fine.
Hello, Lance. How are you doing? And good evening,
not too
everyone.
bad. Yeah, not too bad. I didn't get a Valentine's card on Valentine's Day, but it was a good weekend. So that has to be said.
Can't grumble at that.
No, can't grumble at that. Well, look, I'm going to start off with my usual quick fire questions. Those people that are already watching, there's 9 of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please do share the stream on your social media if you'd be so kind. And if you have any questions for Carly, please put them in the chat and I'll get round to them towards the end. So as you know, I come from a film industry background and I always ask a few kind of quick fire questions at the beginning to sense what your journey is within the world of creative media. You know, what's impacted you as you're growing up. So the first one I always ask every guest is, what is the first film you can ever remember seeing on the big screen as a kid at the cinema?
Oh, okay. So I was never hugely into films, but one that really stands out in my mind is actually a Disney film. So some people might think it's a little bit cheesy, but as a kid, I loved this film, and it was Alice in Wonderland. And I literally still love that film now, and I could probably mimic it word for word. I love that film. The creativity, just everything about it is amazing. I love it.
That's interesting because I think my first one was Bambi on re-release in the 70s. So we're not too different. Can you remember what the last film was that you paid for a ticket to go to the cinema to see?
Oh, blimey.
By the way, you're not the first DJ to say I'm not into films.
Yeah, I'm really not. I'm one of those sort of people. It has to really have something about it to kind of grab my attention. Other than that, usually when I put the TV on, it's to fall asleep. So I think, what was the last film I saw?
Avatar 3, Barbie.
It was years ago. Oh, do you know what it was? Loads of us girls went to see 50 Shades, and it was a real scream. It was the cheesiest film ever, but it was a real laugh with the girls, and I just went for the banter, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah.
Have you got a favourite TV drama show, or one maybe from the past that when you saw the first episode you had to watch the whole thing?
There's been a few recently.
Give me a couple.
Like I said, I'm not really much of a TV watcher, but I quite enjoyed one called Black Ops that was on recently. It was quite funny. I think it was on the BBC because I could watch it on the iPlayer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found that quite funny and quite addictive. And another, actually more so than that one, was Riot Women. And again, that was BBC, and that was fantastic. Really, really good mixture of kind of comedy, real life sort of drama. Yeah, brilliant. Really, really good.
Let's move on to some quickfire music questions now. Do you remember
Okay.
the first single that you ever bought? Because I assume you probably caught the end of the vinyl era. I know you're somewhat youthful.
Yes, I did. I started collecting vinyl actually from a really young age. In fact, I was about 8 or 9.
Right.
So I think my very first 7-inch vinyl was Technotronics, Pump Up the Jam.
Yeah,
So
you know what?
yeah,
I still love that track actually.
yeah, I do absolutely.
I
And
go to an 80s night and they always play that. And that's when the light whip comes out when I'm there.
oh, I loved it. I mean, when I first sort of started getting into music, like as a kid, really, that's the kind of thing that really used to rock the dance floor.
Yeah.
I loved a bit of Snap, Soul to Soul, you know, Beats International. That was my kind of first sort of love of music, really, that kind of era.
First vinyl album you ever bought?
Deep Heat 9, I think, 9 or 10, one of the two. It had like a green, I can picture it now, it had like a green cover, and it just had like some of the best tracks around. Like I think a few from Technotronics, and yeah, it was. I think it had a mashup of some Snap tracks, and I absolutely loved it. And I used to play it on. I didn't have my own decks or anything at that point. I was only sort of about 9 or 10, so I used to play it on my mum and dad's stereo in the front room. So, yeah.
Is that one of those big ones that was like a chest?
Yeah, I was just going to say it was really unusual. It was like a mahogany, like you say, chest, and it opened at the top, and then you had the vinyl deck, and then underneath you had like a drawer that pulled out, and it had a cassette player, and it had all room like where you could stack the vinyl and cassettes and stuff. And it had,
they're worth quite a lot of money now. Apparently.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're collectible now.
The speakers were really ornate as well. They had like they were all mahogany as well, and it had like a cloth front with a pattern on it, and yeah, they just looked like a piece of furniture. Really unusual. Yeah.
So when was the first time that you went clubbing, and what was the venue and the event?
Okay, so I remember it like it was yesterday. The first ever club I went to, I think the club itself was called Soundshaft, and the night that I used to go to was called Rapture. And I went there with my then boyfriend and a group of my friends, and I was literally 15. So
that's quite a common story with the female DJs I've interviewed on here.
Yeah, so don't ask me how I swung that, but it was much easier back in the mid 90s. That was back in 1994, I believe. So yeah,
that was before ID was compulsory.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, and it was just the most incredible, unforgettable experience, and yeah, loved it. Rolled out.
Do you remember the first track that got you running out onto the dance floor?
Yeah, it was. I believe I didn't know what it was at the time, but I now know it to be by Joey Musipa. I can never pronounce that properly. Joey Musipa, I think it is. And it's like a remix of I can't remember the name of it now. Oh goodness.
That's
right.
It's
one of it. Yeah, I can't remember the actual name. That's going to annoy me now. I'll probably think of it in about 5 minutes' time.
Excellent. Well, you scored maximum points on that round, so let's move on. Tell us about, so where did you grow up, and what was the influences that kind of drew you into music? And we'll come on to the DJing in a minute.
Okay, so I first ever lived in Stratford in East London, and then as I started getting older, me and my family moved further out into Essex. So most of my life I've lived in kind of like the Romford, Essex sort of area. And when I lived in that area, I was sort of about 8 or 9, I think, when we moved there. So that's when I first really started to understand what music was about. And albeit I was, still a very young child, I used to experiment with like listening to pirate radio stations. I just discovered them by mistake, and I was absolutely in awe. And like I said, I used to collect vinyl and cassettes and everything else already, so I just had this fascination with music, and I just absolutely loved it. And then when I found the pirate stations, I was just in absolute awe, and I was like, wow, what is this? So I guess it must have been when there was sort of like an explosion of like acid house music, like sort of late 80s. I'm talking like 88, 89.
You're not talking the Radio Jackie era. Would have been like 84 or something.
So it was a lot of like hip house, acid house, that kind of thing. And I was just, wow, what is this? Like before that, I'd only ever sort of heard what was on Top of the Pops and in the charts and stuff like that. So it was what grabbed my fascination and probably what shaped me and made me into who I am as a DJ, really. So
do you remember the first time you went to a proper rave?
Yes, I went to so many. I absolutely loved going out raving when I was younger. Again,
tell us about the very first one.
Very first real rave that I went to was at Bagley's, and it was Sam in Vinyl. And it was just incredible. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd never been to Bagley's before. It's my very first time and very first rave as well.
Yeah, it's the same for me. And it was a great club.
And it was just a real eye opener, like, because I'd been to that club that I told you about, Soundshaft, when I was really young, like 15. And I think when I went to Sam in Vinyl, I was a little bit older. I was college age. I think I was about 18, 19. And I was just bowled over. I was like, oh my goodness. And I just fell in love. And I literally was out as much as I possibly could be at that age, to be honest.
Do you know what year that would have been that you went to Bagley's for that first event?
I believe 97 or 98, something like that.
That's 5 years after I was there. But I think that probably would have been the era with Kirkfield there, and they had the one-way flow system moving through the club.
It's a bit of a blur, to be honest. I remember there being about 5 different rooms. I remember there being about 5 different rooms, and the one that stood out to me the most was the hard house room, and I think they had Lisa Pin up there, who was amazing, and they had like a happy hardcore arena, and they had like it looked like a boxing ring, and they had all these people jumping about with like luminous like high vises on and all sorts of madness, and I just thought, wow, this is just so good. I loved it.
I think you were there when it was in its absolute heyday. There wasn't 100%. I don't think there were 5 rooms when I went, but I always stayed in the main room with the stage.
There was one with like club classics and stuff as well, which I was more familiar with, but I loved all like the drum and bass and jungle at the time. I think Hype was there the night that I went. It was just incredible, like the music, the atmosphere, just everything about it. I was like, I loved it.
A club that's sadly lost to the annals of time now.
I know. But, as are many.
Your fellow DJ, Claire Flanagan, we love the Flanagan. Never heard a bad word said about Claire.
Oh, is she online? Hi, Claire.
She is. She's a fantastic DJ as well. She's also been on this channel and given me a podcast interview, which I was very grateful for. Just an absolutely lovely human being. So here she is supporting you. She's even putting a question, but I'll come on to that question later. So do put your questions in for Carly in the chat, and I will get round to them. I'll try and ask them all. I think the answer to this question is no, Darth. You can't be a Valentine. So Okay, so you went there. Were you then a regular at Bagley's?
I probably went because it was sort of like ticketed events usually. There was all different raves there. They had like world dance and all kind of different things. So I went to a few. But another venue I started going to that I absolutely loved was the SC1 Club. So like the tunnels, and I used to love going to like moon dance and things like that. And I went to
rain dance was also there. At the
I went to that as well. And I went to a frantic like hard house do there as well, and I loved that. It was brilliant. Really, really good.
It sounds like your taste in music is actually quite eclectic.
I'd say so. It's quite vast, really. I think that's a lot down to like when I first become, sort of aware of music and got influenced by so many different styles, because I feel like I was so lucky, really, like getting into the music when I did, because from like the late 80s all the way through the 90s, you just had this explosion of so many different genres. You had the house and garage, you had the acid house and all that, obviously, before. Then you had like the drum and bass, the jungle, hardcore. And I've got love for so many different genres as a result of that. So,
and all of those different genres attract a slightly different crowd, I've noticed, because I'm like you, I can go to any of the above and have a good time. But I definitely have preferences, and some of that's to do with the types of crowd that get attracted to certain events. Do you have a preference as a DJ? What would be the top of the tree of the type of event you like to play?
So back in the 90s, I would say I was a 50-50 split with loving going to things like moon dance. I particularly loved all these sort of early 90s like breakbeaty, hardcore and that sort of thing. I also love a lot of like liquid drum and bass as well, from sort of like mid 90s. A stark split between that, and I absolutely adore US house and garage. That's got a massive place in my heart. In fact, that was the first sort of music that I started to mix with and learned to DJ with. So that's always going to have a massive place in my heart.
Let's go back a bit. I thought that was an interesting question to ask while it came to me. Let's go back a bit. How did you first get into DJing? What was the journey that got you to the first gig? Tell us about that.
Okay, so like I said, I was always like a vinyl collector and avid music listener, like from a very young age. And then when I got to sort of like my late teens, early 20s, I just was obsessed with, the DJs, but it just felt so kind of out of your grasp back then, because there were,
it was quite male dominated still at that time.
Yeah, very much so, that. And also I don't think there was the opportunities to get into it as much as there are nowadays. Like there weren't academies or anything like that. So I was obsessed with it. And I always used to say, after we'd like been raving, I want to be a DJ, I'd love to be up there doing what they're doing, but you just sort of felt like it was so far removed. But I just one day thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy a set of vinyl decks, because I had so much vinyl that I collected for years, just because I just adored music. And I thought, I don't know if I'll ever be able to actually even mix or ever be able to be a DJ, but I just bought the vinyl decks because I thought, you know what, I'm going to try, just because I love it so much. And it was never really with the intention to think, I'm going to be a big superstar DJ. To me, it was just, I'm doing it because I love music, and if I ever get to play out, that'll be amazing. So that was my attitude with it, really. So I went from that, and obviously being into that kind of thing, the raving, the DJing, I had a lot of other friends like into that kind of thing, and a few of my friends were into like local pirate radio stations. So it ended up that I managed to score myself a set on a local pirate station, which was Force FM. I don't know if you're familiar.
I've definitely heard the name before.
Yeah. So that used to be on 106.5 FM in Essex. I think it used to be able to get it a little bit in London as well. But it was mainly Essex based. And that was like a massive thing to me. Like, I never even thought that I would get on there, but I spent like a few years after I bought my decks, like learning to mix and just practice at any point I could get. And, you know, like loving it and enjoying it as well. And then I sort of got to a point where I could kind of mix. I was still, you know, very amateur and getting there kind of thing. But I was determined, and I was obsessed with it, like I said. So yeah, I managed to get a set on Force FM, and I remained there for about, I think it was about 4 or 5 years.
So it's like that was a regular set once a week.
Yeah, yeah. So
who were the mentors? Who were the mentor figures during this time that sort of took you under their wing, so to speak?
So I didn't really have many. Like, I had a couple of friends that I said that were part of the radio station. They already had sets on there. So I guess I can kind of thank them because we used to have to vouch for people when they were accepted for the radio station. And used to have to do a mixtape as well and record it on cassette and hand that in to, you know, the management. So I did all of that. So yeah, a couple of friends, and then particularly when I joined the station, there was a manager that was part of the station who kind of mentored me, like on my first few weeks. So that was Steve Mills. Big thanks to Steve Mills. I'll never forget him for that. And also my very good friend who I still play on lineups with today, Matty Malsham.
I've
Yeah.
seen him play.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Matt, so Steve was very prolific in kind of mentoring me for a few weeks when I first started on the station, because he managed Thursday nights. So he was always around. But then Matt Emulsion was actually there when I did my very first show. And because I think he had the show before me, that's right. And then I took over after him. But he stayed up there with L Dubs as well, who was someone else that was involved and used to quite often be around when Matt did his sets. So yeah, I've got those two people to really thank for starting me on my journey there.
So what was the transition from there to your first gig in a club?
So it actually was with Force FM. So they used to run nights in local places in like Romford. I think the very first one that I ever played at was in Seven Kings. I don't think the bar's even there now. I can't even remember.
No, it's I'm doing the autobiography for Richard Raindance at the minute, and there's a whole there's a whole chapter on that place.
Yeah.
Because it was they had the Lacy Lady Club upstairs.
Oh, right.
And then the big thing in the basement with the boxing ring on Sundays, and yeah. So you did a gig there, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So just started doing like things with Force FM, and then I started to do sort of private parties, and yeah, it just all went from there really. And then sort of doing like regular little slots in like pubs and local bars and stuff. And then what really started to put me on the map was when I got my first residency at the Brickyard, which was a very well-known bar in Romford. It was like a bar and restaurant sort of thing, quite a glitzy place.
I don't think it's there anymore, is it?
No, it's not. No, the building's still there, and it did. They did try and reopen it back in, I think it was 21 or 22. So I actually went back there to do another a second residency there, but unfortunately it things didn't work out. So but I spent many years there. I think I was a resident for about 4 or 5 years, something like that.
While you were a resident there, give us a couple of memories. Is there one memory that sticks in your mind that was a particularly good night because?
There were so many, to be honest.
It was tell us about one.
Where do I start?
Well, with the best one.
The manager, like the owner of the bar, Terry, had fantastic foresight and like creative ideas for the entertainment. So I would be DJ in front of house above like the main bar, and there was like a mezzanine, which was like VIP area. So it's always very, you know, very glam and glitzy. A great place to have a night out. And we always absolutely tore it up in there. I worked alongside many different artists playing percussion, saxophones, violins, like electric violins, that kind of thing. It was fantastic. So he had this idea where we put together like a pre-recorded just a bit of vocal, like just saying welcome to the Brickyard, that kind of thing. But
like an intro.
Yeah, like an intro. Yeah. But then what happened was I'd play the intro, and it had like a little mix of about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 minutes. Wasn't very long. And then we had like stilt dancers. So where we had like this big long bar underneath where I was DJing, it was like a really swanky sort of cocktail bar. So the ladies would get up on their stilts on top of the bar with like fireworks going and all that kind of stuff, and they would do this dancing. But we also had, alongside that, we had people on there with them playing like electric violin, my good friend Nino, and also a very good friend who's recently passed, Paul Harcastle Jr., playing the saxophone. He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I believe I know that name actually.
Yeah,
so rest in peace, Paul.
So yes, indeed, yeah. But he was a very good friend of mine, and also many percussion players, Matt Early being one of them. Yeah, so many different artists that I worked with. Yeah, so it was a really good time, and also, yeah, we had many different artists, because we had like, there was the part that I played in mainly, the VIP bit, and that was where the restaurant was as well. But then downstairs, there was like a nightclub in the basement, and that was fabulous. It had all sort of like lit up dance floor, like yeah, it was an amazing little club downstairs, and we had so many guest appearances there, with all the likes of like DJ like an MC Nee, Artful Dodger, MCDT. Oh, the list goes on. There was just so many people, so it's fabulous to work alongside those guys as well. And occasionally, like, I'd have sets down there as well. I worked with many MCs. We had a female resident MC called Melanie Cameron, but her name was Mix Honey, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, worked with some amazing artists. So yeah, I feel like that was one of the places that really did start to put me on the map. So
it sounds like a great fertile ground for experimenting in different things, especially as you had a boss who was so amenable to creative ideas.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you can get a boss who's quite entrenched, which shuts all that down. So it sounds like you had the complete opposite, which is great. On the subject of MCs, I'm glad you reminded me of this as well. They're a bit of a controversial thing sometimes, because I know some people love house music, but they won't go to a house music event that has MCs because they can't stand them. And then I have other people that don't mind them, and so on. So I'm kind of in the middle. I like them as long as I don't talk over the music, because it's kind of cool when you get the ones who kind of, you know, rile up the crowd and energy and all that. I love Danny Lyons. I think he's great.
He was one of the ones that popped into my mind when you started.
He's a great, because he knows when to. He just does physical things as well on stage.
Yeah,
he knows when to stay quiet and let people enjoy their track.
Yeah, and Chalky White as well is another one who I absolutely love. Yeah, I think they're fantastic, because I feel like they're more hosting the event. And they do sort of do it at intervals, and they're not. I mean, obviously in different scenes, like, I feel like in drum and bass it's very different, because I feel like that can add a lot to the performance and the music, but it's very known for that on the scene. So I feel like people kind of expect that more. I don't think house music really needs it too much. But I think at
No.
really big events, people like Danny Lyons and Chalky and the like, I think they really do add value to the events and atmosphere and whatnot. So I do think, you know, I've got no problem with it at all.
I mean, a good MC knows when to pick the right moment to connect with the audience, I think.
I mean, back in the sort of garage grime days, I went to a few events, and I felt like sometimes the MCs were a little bit overpowering back then. And sometimes they could have like battle of the MCs, and some people really loved that, but I think it was a bit like Marmite. You either, like you say, you either really loved it or you absolutely hated it. So I was a bit more of a in favour of, you know, more music and less of that, really. As I say, I'm you know, I'm open-minded. I don't mind it, but I thought that sometimes that could be a little bit too much. But yeah, it depends on the crowd, the venue. So it's all part of it.
What was your first DJing event after what you've just talked about?
Yeah.
Where you felt you'd gone up a level on the ladder? You know, maybe the paycheck was a bit bigger.
Okay. So probably when I started to get involved with Centerforce,
Right.
and I started to play for much bigger brands like Clockwork Orange, and Wearehousework, Shhh. There's so many that I'm involved with nowadays. So yeah, I would say when I started to play more specialised events, really, is when things really sort of stepped up a level. Because before that, like when I was doing all my sort of, I did many years of like private work and like corporate events, weddings even. That wasn't what I really got into DJing for, but I kind of
but it helps pay the bills.
It does, yeah. It was good for that, and I did enjoy doing it. It was good fun. But it was never what I really got into it for. Like what I do now is obviously more specialist, and it is what I got into DJing for. It's what I dreamed of doing. So I'm very fortunate to be doing that. But so that was, I've done a bit of everything really. I think you always do once you get into it, because it's so versatile. Like, there's so much to it.
I mean, one of the things that I think's great about you when you play, and I said this to Adele Andea when she came on as well, is you can tell how much you love the music, and there's quite a lot of clips of, let's call them very young DJs on places like Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they're posing in a costume and twisting a few knobs. And sometimes DJs are pointing out saying, that knob doesn't do anything. She hasn't done anything. You know, there's a bit of that going on, which always feels a bit disappointing. I think DJs who have who love the music that much have a level of authenticity. Now, we tracked down this video of you giving it some. I'm not going to play the music. I'll keep it muted because otherwise I'm going to get a copyright strike, because this track is particularly well known. But there you are.
There she goes.
So and great outfit as well, by the way. And
thank you.
Yeah, you really love that track, which is a great track.
Yeah.
And I think this was this at Shhh?
No, this was actually a more local event. It's well, it used to be Culture Shock, but now we're doing it as the Berwick Manor reunions. So that's
Berwick Manor.
Yeah,
now that's another historically legendary rave place.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
sweat dripping off the ceiling and that kind of thing.
Still the same. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Is it the reunion? Is it at the same venue then?
Yeah. So obviously the venue is no longer a club venue per se. Nowadays it's a hotel / wedding venue. But what the organisers do is they hire it for the whole day, and because it's such a large event, like we can have anything between sort of 500 and 700 people there, so it warrants obviously hiring out the whole venue for the day. And it's got like a kind of bar, like where they might hold like a usual wedding or whatever. but then you go through the back of that and it's got like a static marquee that's, I think it's there year round, but they only hire it out to large events. And then obviously you've got all the garden area. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good. Yeah.
So when you went to that sort of next level on the ladder, as it were, and you started doing stuff for Centerforce and whatnot, what changed, if anything? What was different? What was more challenging?
Yeah, so I feel like the more high profile events and bookings that you get, like there is a lot more pressure involved, because obviously it is, you know, more niche and it is more high profile. So the pressure for you to perform is higher, I think, than if you're just playing in like a usual bar or club or whatever, just as a resident or something like that. I'm not taking anything away from that, because I did that for many years and it's not an easy job, but I feel like the pressure's different because you're going there, you're booked especially for you and your skill and your following and whatever else, and it's kind of more spotlight on you as a DJ, to kind of bring the energy and what's needed for the event. So, and to stay successful, like I feel like you've got to really understand like the crowd, not just the music you're playing, but what that crowd want, and do a mixture of giving what you love and what you know the crowd's going to love as well. And obviously,
do you keep your playlist quite organic in that way when you do an event?
Well, I've been doing it for a lot of years now. So when I very first started doing events, because I knew I was doing like an hour set, quite often I would kind of plan it roughly. I might have like a folder of maybe 30 tracks, and out of that I'd probably only play like 15, 16. But I would give myself, for my own confidence and, you know, to kind of help with stage fright and things like that, I would kind of provisionally at least have like maybe 3-4 tracks that I knew flow really well, and then I would think, right, I might go up into this and this, and kind of do it. So it was a little bit of a mixture, not completely planned, but yeah, I would do myself a few safety mixes and stuff, because it, like I said, there was that big pressure to perform, and you know, you're only as good as your last set kind of thing. And when you're in front of, you know, massive crowds, it's, yeah, you don't want to be kind of really messing up. So yeah.
Do you prefer mixing on a digital deck over vinyl these days? Is it just more practical, or
Yeah, I mean, I loved vinyl mixing and I always will, but yeah, for a number of reasons, it's just not practical nowadays. Like for, you know, collecting all of the type of music that you need, like it's really hard to turn up at these events, and like, you know, you might plan a set on vinyl and have like 20 records with you, but you might get there and it might need something a little bit different to what you thought. So if that's the case, it's really hard for you to be that versatile in the way that you really need to nowadays, I feel. So that would be the only thing. I mean, obviously, if it's a really specialised event and you know, for instance, it's going to be really old school 90s sort of thing, and you know that you're going to just go and play a set like that, that's not so bad. But with a lot of these events, like it really can depend on like the energy and the crowd, like, and playing digital just gives you so much more freedom with that kind of thing. And I'm all about the crowds and giving the crowd what they need and want, you know. It's not just at me, it's not me going out to just play what I love. That comes into it, of course, I'll give it my spin, but I do try to play to the crowd more. So
there you go, there's a message from Adele. She just put it on my Facebook. We love Carly. So she might be watching even, but that's very kind of her to send that.
I love Adele.
What's the biggest disaster you've had doing a gig?
Oh wow, there've been a few. I'd say.
Take your pick. Chuck them at me.
Yeah, it's not all perfect. Everyone, don't matter what, you know, end of the scale you are, everyone messes up occasionally. We're all human, right? But I think it's how you deal with it that matters. Probably my worst one was when I still used to play it on vinyl, I was obviously very nervous, very new to it. And I can remember being about 24 and I played in a local sports bar, and it was kind of an event. There was a number of DJs like playing hour slots, pretty much like we do nowadays. So it came to my set, started off great, first couple of mixes good, yeah, enjoying it, feeling really good, dancing away, then got carried away, pulled the wrong needle off the wrong record, like the one that was playing, and I was
Right.
the whole dance floor just went quiet. But it was only for a millisecond, and luckily, because I hadn't moved the position that my hand was in, I literally put it straight back down, so it played again in the same place. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. Yeah, so that's got to be one of my worst ones, I think. Aside from that, there was one at a festival that I was doing. Wasn't really my fault per se. It was a generator issue, because we had really poor weather that particular day, and there was something filling up with water in this generator. So the promoter came to me while I'm in the middle of my set. I think I was about 3 or 4 tracks in, just getting everyone going, you know, enjoying it. And then they come over and say, oh, yeah, by the way, we've got to switch everything off. Like, all your music's got to go off. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Could only happen to me. But you know what? We laughed it off. They switched everything off, sorted out the generator, and in between time we were singing and waving their hands and dancing, and yeah, we made it work. It was only for a few minutes, and then it all went back to how it needed to be. So yeah, they're 2 times that stick out in my mind. Yeah.
So going forwards, let's talk about the time at Centerforce, and for those people watching that don't know what Centerforce is, give us an introduction.
Right, so where do I start? So if you love your house music, any kind of underground electronic music, Centerforce is for you. Particularly if you know you were a raver back in sort of the late 80s, 90s, you're going to love Centerforce. It's DAB. It's one of the only stations that is 24 hours a day with live DJs playing all sorts of eclectic music that you're really only going to hear on Centerforce, and stations that play sort of underground music. And yeah, it's just incredible, absolutely incredible listenership, incredible events. It's wonderful to get involved with. So if you don't know about it, get to know.
They do have some very entertaining adverts that come on.
Yeah.
And they're like for you, Joe's Windows, you know, something like that. And I'm like, it's very localized, you know, the adverts, but
there's so much involved. Like it's fantastic. Like our sponsorship partnerships. It's just a wealth of talent, and an amazing community to be involved with. It's incredible. And if you're a raver, you're going to meet some amazing people that will probably become really good friends of yours. So yeah, it's well worth a look. Get involved.
Who founded it?
That would be Andy Swallow.
Right.
So originally Centerforce was a pirate radio station back in the late 80s. So I think 89 was the most prolific year for them. And then off the back of the radio, they used to do the old school, you know, obviously shouting out where the raves were going to be and things like that. So Andy used to sell out parties back in the day as well. And then I think they carried on, you know, for quite some years. And then I think Andy got more involved with, like, I think he had record companies and stuff. I think he owns Public Demand Records and things like that. So I think he moved more into that for many years. And then he and his son, Danny, decided to bring it back in around... Well, I joined with them in 2017. And I think we got the DAB license agreed in, what year was that? It was a couple of years after. I think it was either 2018 or 2019, one of the two. So I got involved with Centerforce when they were doing like live Facebook sets, like live on Facebook, to sort of help generate listenership and just, you know, make people aware of Centerforce, really.
A lot of that stuff really took off in the pandemic, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this was just a little bit before the pandemic. So to be honest, like, I'd never really seen these live performances. Like back in 2017, it just wasn't you didn't really see a lot of them back then.
No.
It was only a few years before the pandemic, but obviously it was early enough that there weren't really so many of those things around. So when they asked me to do one, I absolutely panicked. I'll be honest.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, I'd played out, you know, for many years by the time I got involved with them. But it was just really a really odd concept, because I thought it's really kind of up close and personal, like doing a live DJ set. I don't know, it's just something that I'd never done before.
Yeah, it's kind of intimate in a way.
Yeah, it is.
And you also can't really connect with the audience unless you're sort of watching a scrolling chat.
Yeah, well, I thought that, but actually, they had it set up really well, and we had like iPads and stuff, so we could actually see all the live comments. So
Cool.
That was something that I really loved, because I was really used to that from doing like pirate radio station on like Force FM. It did. Yeah, I
very different experience.
Yeah, it was very, very different. But I had nothing to worry about. It was really good. I absolutely loved it. The crowd were amazing. Like online, they were so welcoming, and yeah, it was brilliant. Really supportive and stuff.
I know you're keen not to promote one brand over another, but do you have a particular favorite event that you've played at that just everything clicked for you, and it was, you know, you look back at that and that was, that's got to be
yeah. Do you know what? I love all of the brands that I work for different reasons, because they all bring something different to the table. Like Centerforce will always have centre stage for me in there, because I've just spent so much time with them. I owe them a lot for so many things, like the platform I've been given, the events that I've played at for them, and you know, it's just been absolutely incredible. But two other brands that stand out for me really are Houseworks. We Are Houseworks. They gave me an opportunity last year to play in the main room at Ministry in the box, and it was like an out-of-body experience. That was absolutely incredible. That was stuff that dreams are made of. That's yeah. I never thought in a million years that I'd play there. So yeah.
Where have you played overseas?
So I've played in Ibiza, Corfu, Marbella. Yeah, I think that's it overseas.
Was Corfu for Unity in the Sun, Billy Bunter's event? Would that have been?
No, it wasn't. But a similar sort of time, I was out there for Houseworks actually, and that was fantastic. Yeah. But also Clockwork. I've played some amazing events for Clockwork Orange, particularly Clockstock. Was always my favourite annual event. I was really lucky enough to play for Clockwork for about 4 years in a row, and I played their last one as well, and I was gutted when they announced that it was going to be their last one, but it just had something about it that, yeah, it just had that je ne sais quoi, shall we say. It was just everything, the production, the crowd, just the whole vibe and atmosphere, just everything about it really. I loved playing Clockstock.
I'm going to be going to Ibiza for the first time this year. It's amazing that I haven't been before, but I haven't. There we are.
I can't believe that, Lance. That's crazy.
I know. I'm expecting you to show me around. Lots of people have actually offered to do that, which is very kind of them. But yeah, it's going to be the subject of my next book in the Rave book series, Raving Abroad at 50-ish. But you know, I talk to a lot of people that have been. Some people love it, some people don't. The people that don't particularly mention things like 16 euros for a bottle of water in a club.
Oh, right,
Which, you know, I've got to say is absolutely effing outrageous, especially in a time of austerity. Lots of people don't have much money. You know,
but it has changed that way. It never used to be like that.
I mean, so my question for you, and the reason for bringing it up is, do you think it's just becoming a playground for the rich?
I was going to say that. I feel like nowadays it is a little bit more so like that. There still is a little bit of something for everyone. If you know the islands and you know where to go, you don't have to spend, ridiculous amounts of money to enjoy yourself at all. But I feel maybe more so for youngsters, like it's all about the Instagram and TikTok or whatever, and what people are trending and doing in that. It's kind of a little bit like that for some youngsters, I feel. But I still feel like there's a vibrant kind of community of people our sort of age and older going out there, and there's still a lot of events for sort of people ranging from 40s upwards, sort of thing. So yeah, I feel like with the youngsters, it is a bit more glitz and glam, and they want to go Ocean Beach and Universe and all of that kind of thing. And then that is extortionate.
I've not heard good things about Universe, actually.
I've heard a mixed bag, to be honest. A few people I know that are my sort of age have been, and they said it was incredible. But I think it's like anything else. It depends on what event you go to, who's playing, and what you want out of it, really. I mean, some people love the glitz and glam and they want to go and spend 10 grand on a table and have that experience, and that's fine if that's what you want to do, and that's
and if they've got 10 grand, that's fine.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
To spare on a table.
Yeah, but for me, like I could be quite happy with a hair bass and just be sat at the Cafe Del Mar watching the sunset. To be quite honest with you, I fell in love with the island many years ago. I've been going out there since 2004.
I was going to ask you what the first year was that you went out. So you must have seen quite a lot of changes in that time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was back in the sort of head candy era, and I loved all the
Did you go to space when you had the open roof and you saw the planes and everybody waved up to the planes?
Yeah, it was
incredible. Man, I wish I could have done that.
Like the beach rave at Bora Bora in Playa d'Imbossa. It was incredible, and that, like, to me, that's proper Ibiza. Like, and I used to go to like Amnesia. I went to Cream at Amnesia. It was one of the first events that I went to in the super clubs. I went to Manumission in Privilege, which was the biggest super club over there, which is now Universe. So yeah, that to me was, when Ibiza was in its prime sort of thing. I mean, it still is in some respects, but for me personally, that's when I loved it the most.
Did you ever go to Pikes?
Yes, I've played at Pikes. Yeah,
oh man, that place is legendary.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely adore Pikes, and to get to play there, it was actually with Shhh and a joint event with Lisa Good and Pure Sea.
I was gonna give Lisa a shout out because my trip to Ibiza, I'm torn between Slip Back in Time, or Lisa Good's event. Pure Sea.
That's a tough call. Depends.
It is a tough call. Very tough. I'd like to go to both. I'm not sure if I can afford both, but it's tough.
So obviously I've played for Lisa a couple of times and been out there and done Pure Sea, and we've had amazing time, and obviously helped raise awareness for and money for cleaning up the oceans and stuff like that. So it's really good.
Very good cause. That she does.
But I'm pleased to announce that I'll be at Slip Back in Time in May this year.
Now you're just making it harder for me.
For my first, it'd be my debut appearance for Slip Back in Time, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I'm so excited.
Matt's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's literally one of my legendary icons. And it was like a pinch me moment to get a message from him asking me to play, because he's someone that I used to go out raving to when I was like 18, you know, and so to be asked to play at one of his events in Ibiza as well is
that's like a full circle of life moment.
100%. Yeah, I feel so grateful to be having that privilege. So I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing for that.
You've been doing this game for a long time, and as we know, sort of doing the DJ as the single job is for
Yeah.
many people, it's not an option. You've also got a day job. We don't
Yeah,
need to
I
go into
have.
what that is. But
Yeah.
how do you find juggling all of that? And is it tricky maintaining personal relationships when you've got a day job, you've got DJ commitments? How do you the work-life balance? How do you find that? How do you manage that?
Good question.
I try to
Yeah,
ask every guest that question.
yeah, well, it's an interesting one, and I suppose a lot of people, particularly if they're not in the business, it is an interesting one. So, I would say I've been quite lucky, really. Relationships that I've had personally, a lot of the people I've been involved with have been in the music industry as well. So luckily, you know, they've been quite understanding and supportive of what I do. So it's not really affected me in that respect, but it is tough juggling just general life and, you know, your DJing, which, you know, is something that you love so much and you want to give everything to, but obviously, you know, life gets in the way as well.
Sure.
It's, yeah, it can be really difficult, like to manage like tiredness and fatigue is a real thing, because obviously as DJs we absolutely, you know, it's like stuff our dreams are made of, right? But on the same hand, if you're doing 48 gigs over like a couple of months or something like that, which it can happen, it's exhausting. It's very exhausting to be that in that center spotlight and have that energy that you need to have. And we're not getting any younger, are we? So that gets harder as you get older.
I try not to think about my age,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to dance until I can dance no more. So
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I will as well, and I will perform for as long as my body and mind lets me. But it is, I've definitely noticed a difference, like in my 40s compared to, you know, like when I was in my 20s and
yes,
30s. It's going to happen, ain't it? But I feel like if you keep yourself well maintained, like I go to the gym regularly. I try to eat well most of the time. Yeah, and just try and make the most of time that I do get when I'm not DJing or working in my day job. Just really try and savor that time and sort of make time for your friends and family as much as possible. Really, I think that's so important, because in the reams of when you get so busy, like you can miss out on so much, like, and it can't be helped. You know, obviously it's what you do, it's what you love, and it becomes your work. Like when you're doing it as much as kind of I'm now doing it, you know, I'm doing sort of, you know, over 50 gigs a year most years. When you're doing,
I went to 50 events last year.
Yeah, and you're doing sort of like 2 or 3 events maybe in one like night and things like that, which, don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for. Like every booking I get, I'm hugely grateful for. But it does take its toll. So, you know, like we're only human at the end of the day. So yeah, it can be very tiring, and that's difficult to deal with because you love it so much, and it's yeah, it's a real battle sometimes. But like I said, like if you keep yourself well maintained, and just be real about things, you know, don't try and take on too much, and yeah, sometimes you just have to say no.
Because I mean, another thing about you that you told me is you've been completely teetotal sober for many years.
Yes, yeah,
So
I was
you
going
knocked all
to
that.
touch on that as well. Yeah, because I feel like that's something that really helps with what I do, because I just found that when I got into sort of all the specialised events and I was doing like these hour power sets as I do, and you like as from the video that you showed, like obviously I'm very energetic when I'm playing.
Yes.
And it's not just when you're playing, like if you some events, like you might leave at 11:30 in the morning to get there if it's a day event, and then you might stay on to support your friends who are DJing, or just to support the event and, you know, have a bit of a good time. Or like I said, if you've
A
got
bit
2
of a
or 3,
boogie.
yeah, exactly. So there's
Yeah.
that, and then if you've got other events that you've got to go and play at as well, which I often do have, So to keep up with that and working in the week and having some sort of life and sanity, you can't be going out getting messed up every weekend. And to
No,
me, like, it's not even a sacrifice. Like, I've never thankfully had a problem with anything like that. I used to like a drink and whatnot when I was younger, but I just dropped it out when I was sort of about, I don't know, like late 30s, because it got to the point where I wasn't enjoying feeling like that, and what I was doing with the DJing gave me so much joy and, you know, such a buzz. I was like, I'd rather be sober and okay to keep doing that. Like, if I've got to do it every weekend, you know, like, you just can't afford to spend like a whole Sunday laying in bed feeling messed up. And like, obviously it gets you nowhere anyway, like, you know. And the thing is, like, it's each their own. Like, I've got nothing against people that go out raving and do whatever they do, and, you know, substances, whatever, you know, it's part of it.
It's part of the culture.
But just, yeah, it is. But just not for me anymore. You know, I've had my good times with things when I was a lot younger, but I just got to an age where I was like, do you know what? I love my work-life balance. Like, I love being able to do my teaching, which is what I do during the week. And I love going out DJing every weekend. And if I want to maintain that to a good level, like, I need to be straight. So
yeah.
Well,
you got a question there from your fellow DJ Claire Flanagan.
Oh, okay.
What do you like to do to relax, especially after gigs or in your spare time? Assuming you have any spare time, Carly.
I don't, to be honest, I don't get a lot. I'm a little bit quieter at the moment, like this end of the year. I just really try and do as much self-care as I can. Like, I'm really into like doing yoga. I go to the gym like 3-4 times a week consistently. I just love it. Like, I love to do that, and it feels good, and yeah, got a lot of benefits. So it's kind of, well, the yoga is quite relaxing, but obviously gym not so much so. But
I'm not bendy enough to take on yoga. I feel it's not gonna work for me at this age. We're running over time slightly, but I do want to chuck in.
Sorry, that's me.
I want to chuck. No. You're the guest. You're the one who's supposed to talk. I just want to try and fit in a couple of other questions, if you don't mind staying for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's fine.
I won't keep you too much longer, because I know you're standing up. But
that's fine. I'm used to that for over an hour.
No, indeed. I mean, one of the things I wanted to comment on is the explosion of the day rave scene, which has been massive. And of course, I've just written a book about how going back to that arrived at exactly the right time for me, when I decided I wanted to go back to dancing. And I've written a book about that called Back to Raving at 50, quick plug. It's available on Amazon's now. It's getting fantastic reviews, and Chalky White's just read it and said it was amazing. So that was very kind.
Love that. I really need to get a copy. That sounds right up my street.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. I mean, it has been kind of amazing. It was sort of when I first went out, there was a couple of day rave events a month, and then within 2 to 3 months of me going to the first one, there were 3 to 4 every weekend. I mean, in London especially, we are sport for choice. And it's fantastic. Punters love it. I mean, I went to 50 events last year. Only one of them was a nighttime event. All 49 others took place in the day. So it's, you know, you arrive at 1, you're leaving by 9, 10 o'clock. If you're really insane, you might go on to an after party. But if you're relatively sane, you'll probably head back and get a cup of tea and be in bed watching EastEnders or something. What do you think? What do you think about it all, and how has it been helpful in terms of more gigs for you and things like that?
You know what? Yeah, I think it's been fantastic for a number of reasons, particularly because I feel like for our age group, for a lot of people, it's difficult to go out until 6 in the morning.
Oh God, I can't do that.
You know,
not for me.
And like the thought of it, I mean, even me, like if I'm DJing and I am playing at a very late, you know, set, I will go and do it. But it's very different for me nowadays, because back in my raving days, I probably would have been you know, glad of it, like out all night sort of thing. But now I just, and I think that is a big benefit because there's still a massive community of ravers from say like 40 to 60 plus. And I feel like that allows them to still continue doing it. So I love that. I think that's absolutely incredible.
Well, I mean, I was at Koko on Saturday. There was over 1,000 people there. You know, daytime event.
The atmosphere, like you couldn't tell the difference. Like I played my set at Wearehousework in the box in Ministry of Sound, and my set was from 3:30 till 4:30, and honestly, when I tell you it went off unbelievably, there was probably nigh on 2,000 people in that room, and it was just it could have been easily like 3-4 in the morning. It was just
in the box at Ministry. That room's not that big.
Yeah. It was incredible.
That sounds like a fire hazard waiting to happen. 2,000 people in that place. Oh my god!
There might not have been that many, but it looked like it in the video.
Yeah, it was packed. It was packed out.
It was good. But yeah, it's incredible. But I think that's one of the biggest reasons I feel. But also I feel like because of you know, the way that the economy is as well, like the cost of living and things like that, I feel like it had to go that way. Even the youngsters like a lot of day raves because they don't have to pay extortionate prices for cabs home and things like that. So I feel like it just works on so many levels, like doing a day event.
I've met maybe 30 like mother-daughter, father-son, father-daughter, and in one case, 3 generations of a family at one rave. That was Labyrinth at 93 Feet East, I think it was.
It's brilliant.
Which is really endearing, you know, the families going out raving together. I never thought I'd see the day.
It's crazy. I mean, I feel like when we were growing up, it weren't a thing at all, was it? Like our parents, that generation, weren't still going out really.
You did everything you could not to tell your parents you were going raving. In fact, conceal that from them. The last subject I'd like to touch on, which is one that I think is quite interesting. We're talking about it on this channel quite a lot, especially in the realm of film and television as well. And my moderator Keith reminded me the classic question of artificial intelligence going forward. Now, I don't think you've moved into the realm of creating your own tracks yet, have you?
I have.
You have
started to. I haven't.
I think you've just started to sort of lean into that.
I have. I haven't actually released anything yet. But I've been creating a lot of my own music for my sets and stuff like that, so that's where I'm at the moment.
So is AI a tool that's useful for you in that regard?
I've never used it personally, but I know that some people do, and apparently it's really fantastic for creating vocals and stuff like that, and if you can give it the right commands. I've never actually delved into that myself, but apparently it's amazing. But the only downside I feel is it might take stuff away from vocalists, but you know, it's one of those things. It's going that way. It's going to happen. There's not much people can do to stop it, really. I feel like it will need to be regulated because I feel like there's crazy amounts of things that they can do with it and get away with. You know, sort of publishing music that's slightly different, but it's I don't know. I'm not expert in that field, but I feel like there'll be some ruptions at some point.
What's the one venue that you've always wanted to play a set at that you haven't done yet?
That's a good question.
Good questions, me.
I haven't played at what's it called? Studio 338. I haven't yet played there. It's one of the only London venues that I've not played at. I mean, I've played Ministry, I've played Fabric, the Steelyard, I've played at Egg. Have you
done Koko, main Camden Palace?
Yes, I've played Koko twice for Peach, which was incredible.
I think that might have been when I first saw you, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that was incredible. I loved playing for Peach.
I love the guys at Peach. Shout out to Chris Bain and Graham Gold.
Lots
Graham
of love,
Gold's.
guys. Looking
Yeah,
forward
Graham
to the
Gold's done a
4th.
podcast.
Yep, looking forward to the 4th of April, where I'll be performing for them at Ministry of Sound.
I'm there.
Yes, the 4th of April.
I'm gonna be dancing for them that day. So,
oh, are you? Oh,
yeah.
incredible.
Hopefully, I'll be dancing on the speakers again when we light whip.
Yes.
So I got to do that for the first time with them on New Year's Day.
Oh, but that was amazing. Yeah, that did look good.
It was great.
Event.
Yeah, it was
incredible.
Great to be able to dance in a space where I wasn't hitting anyone with it. So
yeah,
always helpful.
Yeah.
So okay, Studio 338. Yeah, that's. I mean, I went to the Houses of Feeling event there, and I've done a moon dance there. And I like the venue. The only thing I don't like about it is there's nowhere to sit down.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah,
and for a day rave event with people of a certain age, you know, you want a bit of a breather somewhere, and nearly all of the seating is in the VIP bit upstairs, which is fuck all news to anybody. So
yeah, I
but
get
it
that.
is great. It's a great
Cool
venue.
venue though.
Yeah, cool venue. I'm sure the day will come where
Yeah.
you will play there. Maybe Lee and John Reed can get you on their next event there, because that I think you'd be a good addition to the Rave Days lineup. Listen, Carly, this has been fantastic. I mean, the time's gone in a flash, and you thought you wouldn't have anything to talk about. So it's been an absolute joy. So know this going forward, that now that you've done an interview on this channel, the Outcast Creative channel is available to you as a means of promotion. What I mean by that is that if you have a key event coming up at some point in the future, like maybe it's the first time that you're playing 338 and you'd like to come on and talk about that, we will gladly have you back, so you can promote, that event.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Absolutely my pleasure. What events have you got coming up? Where can people see you play over the next few months?
Okay, so my first event of the year, because like I said, I've had a bit of time off to kind of recharge in this early part of the year. So I'm back on the 28th of February. So I'll be playing for the whole weekend at Butlins Minehead with Houseworks. We are Houseworks.
Yeah, I've heard about that event actually.
We love Ibiza, yeah. So that's going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to that. And then I've got a local event on the 21st of March. So a local bar called V Bar. So I'll be there on the 21st of March for a little sort of brunch club. Then I will be playing for Houseworks Space Odyssey at the Outernet in London at the end of March. I think it's the 28th, I believe.
That's a great. Their main space there is a great space.
Yes,
it's got a bit of a clinical feel, but it's nice. They've got really nice toilets.
Yeah, I've
really nice toilets. You've not?
No, so I'm really looking forward to playing there. Then I've got Peach on the 4th of April at Ministry of Sound. So yeah, absolutely buzzing to be back at Peach. That will be incredible, and obviously back at Ministry as well. So yeah, double win there. It's going to be fantastic.
Will you be doing a trance set at Peach?
No, I'll be doing a house set, because Peach have like some different rooms for different genres.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'll be doing my usual kind of house set.
Okay, I'll try and time it to be in your room at the relevant time.
Oh, fantastic. It'd be great to see you. Yeah, and then I'm at Slip Back in Time in May. I've also got, I think, May Bank Holiday, I've got Back to House, which is an awesome little event in Epsom. So I'll be playing there alongside Steve Facey, and that's always a good event as well. So yeah, lots coming up in the next few months, and lots more in the diary for further on in the year as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good year. I'm really looking forward to it. Really excited.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to seeing you play live again. And now that we've spoken, I'll of course come up and say hi.
Definitely.
It's been fantastic having you on. And
thanks. I've enjoyed it. It's been weren't as bad as I thought, actually. Not that I thought you were going to be sad. No,
Good.
not for that reason, just for my own,
No, I know. Yeah, you did mention you get stage
Yeah.
fright sometimes, and I think even the most confident among us still get that occasionally. So it's all good. Lovely comments in the chat. Bo Romeo just said, yet another nice interview. Keep whipping up a storm, you two. Blackberry Dreams, great interview. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for all your comments.
So we're going to be back tomorrow night with my regular weekly show, the Nielsen ratings. Took me ages to come up with that title. That's where we review the latest film and TV shows that are on Netflix and Amazon. We try to focus on the stuff that's good, the stuff we want to recommend you, rather than the stuff that's crap, because there's loads of other channels that do that. We also will be doing a dedication to the late great actor Robert Duvall. Many of you will have seen him, of course, in The Godfather. What a fantastic actor with a phenomenal body of work. He sadly passed away, age 95, so good innings, but passed away on Sunday. So we'll be talking about some of his greatest pieces of work. And of course, I've got more industry interviews coming up, including a couple more DJs, a couple more people from the film industry over the next month. So lots to look forward to on the channel. Well, we talked about AI music, and as a surprise present, actually, one of my fellow YouTubers, Retro Nerd Girl, who reviews older films, fantastic channel. She also used to be a singer, unknown to me. And this is her voice, but she created this song for my channel as a surprise present, which was very kind of her. So I guess the music was created by AI, but the voice is hers. So Carly, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for everyone for watching and your comments. Please do like and subscribe to the channel, share it, tell your friends. And don't forget, if you are a creative and you work in any of the creative industries, you could be designing a board game, you might have a comic on Kickstarter, anything creative, my channel is here to support you. Get in touch with me via the usual links below, and I'll see if I can get you on to talk about what you're up to. In the meantime, stay in touch with the people that you care about. Always tell them that you love them. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye.
Thank you, Lance.
Misfits and dreamers getting innovative. It's film, TV, and theater in the mix. Industry interviews where ideas get their fix. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast, creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Interviews with fellow artists on the rise, and reviews that might surprise. Films, TV shows from back in the day. You might just find a hidden gem today. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast, creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Filmmakers, comic book creators, stand up proud. Actors, musicians, board game designers, be loud. At Outcast Creative, amazing's the word. He even interviewed the legend.